You are watching this video, and that means you want to improve your English. Have you ever asked yourself, what is the best book to improve my grammar? What's the best book to improve my vocabulary? How can I improve my speaking skills? What's the best course? Who's the best teacher? What is the best podcast or the best YouTube video? To answer these questions, first of all, you need to know your level of English. Because if you don't know what level you have, you cannot find the suitable book or the suitable material to help you improve your level. And that is what we're going to do in this video. Together, you and I are going to find out what your level of English is. Is it A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, or even C2? Now, to do this, I'm going to use a level test that is designed by Cambridge. It's a very standard test that helps you find your exact level of English knowledge. This test has 50 questions. We're going to do it one by one. I'll show you the question. You have some time to think and to choose the correct answer. I will show you the correct answer, and then I will explain why that answer is correct. It's very important for you to keep track of the number of correct answers you have. So, grab a pen and a piece of paper or a notebook. As we're going through this test, write down the number of correct answers you have, because at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to calculate your level of English. All right, I've talked too much. One last thing. If you want, you can pause the video after each question. Think about the question, choose your answer, and then play the video if you need more time to think. Okay, that's totally fine. All right, let's get to the questions. Question 1. Most university students on campus in their first year lives, live, are living. Live. Why? Because it's present simple and our subject is plural. Students. If it was student, we would say lives. But because it's plural, we say live. But why not are living? Because it's not present continuous. It is not happening right now. That was question 1. On your notebook, if your answer was correct, put a tick. If your answer was not correct, put a cross. Now let's go to question 2. From this graph, we can see that the economy at the moment improves, improve, is improving. Is improving. Why? Because first, we say at the moment, right now. And second, we are describing a picture. Whenever you're describing a picture, you should use present continuous. In this graph, the economy is improving at the moment. 2 signs. Again, on your notepad, tick if your answer was correct, cross if your answer was wrong. Moving on to question 3. They personal computers when my father was a student. They hadn't, they didn't have, or they weren't having. They didn't have. This is a simple past sentence. The positive form would be they had. And to make it negative, we use did in the negative form, which is didn't. And because didn't is past, we don't want 2 past verbs in the same sentence. So the second verb would be base form. They didn't have. Can I say weren't having? No, because have, with the meaning of possession, is a stative verb. It never takes ing. I can never say, I'm having a microphone or I'm having a laptop. Okay, again, tick or cross on your notepad. Moving on to question 4. I want to be a practicing doctor, but now I'm more interested in research. Was used to, or would. I used to. When you want to talk about something that was true in the past, but is not true now, we use used to. I used to be fat, now I'm thin. I used to want to be a practicing doctor, but now I'm more interested in research. Again, tick or cross, don't forget to keep track. Let's go to question 5. The teacher asked how to do the experiment when the fire bell rang. Showed, shown, was showing. Was showing. But why? There are 2 actions in this sentence. The teacher was doing one action, the fire bell is another action. And the 2 actions are connected with when. This is called interrupted past. 2 actions. One action in the past stops the other action. So the teacher was explaining, the fire bell rang. Now, the action which was happening first is past continuous. The action which happened next and stopped the first action is past simple. The teacher was showing, the fire bell rang. Now let's go on to question 6. Don't forget to keep track with a tick or a cross on your notepad. I finished my essay yesterday, but it's in to the tutor yet. I've given, I haven't given, I didn't give. I haven't given. The word yet shows that the sentence is present perfect, so we need have plus past participle. And it also shows that the sentence is negative because we use yet in present perfect negative. All right, let's go on to question 6. The experiment 3 times now with different results each time. We've done, we did, we've been doing. We have done. But why? In the sentence, we have 3 times now, and they have the results. So that means the action is completed. But do you know exactly when each test and each experiment was done? Was it done yesterday? Or maybe 2 days ago? Or 3 days ago? We don't know. That is why we use present perfect. Something that happened in the past, we have the results now, but we don't know exactly when it happened. That's present perfect. And because the action is over, it's present perfect simple. It is not present perfect continuous because we're not doing the action now. We finished the experiments, we got the results. So far, we've done the experiments 3 times and we have 3 different results. Let's go on to question 8. When I arrived, the lecture, so I didn't find it easy to follow. The lecture started, the lecture had started, the lecture had been starting. The lecture had started. You see, this sentence has 2 actions. One action is I arrived, simple past. But before this action, something else happened. The lecture had started. An action in the past before another action in the past is past perfect. Had plus past participle. The lecture had started. Question 9. She, well at school, but that changed when she became friends with a different group of girls. She did, she had done, she'd been doing. She did. This is a simple past sentence. Something happened in the past. It's over. It's finished. That's one sign. The other sign is, if you look at the sentence, the rest of the sentence has verbs. And those verbs are also simple past. Look at the sentence, but that changed. Changed is simple past. So, before that, we also need a simple past because this is on the same timeline. And now question 10. The doctor at 2 this afternoon, so I can't go to the lecture. I'm seeing, I see, I will see. You might say that this is future and I should say I will see. But the correct answer is I'm seeing. What? Hold on. When we're talking about the future, we use will. But if you're talking about a future arrangement, that is like a schedule or an appointment that you have in the future, such as seeing a doctor at 2, we use present continuous for future schedules or future appointments. Now, this is a future appointment. I'm seeing a doctor, right? I'm seeing my doctor at 2. It's a schedule. It's fixed. So I use present continuous instead of will. So far, we've done 10 questions. We have 14 more to go. Let's continue. Question 11. My sister, economics and politics when she goes to university. Is going to study, studies, will study. Again, this is future. So you can say will, and you can also use going to, but pay attention. This is a future plan. This is the plan my sister has. It's her intention. When you're talking about future plans or future intentions, the things you want to do in the future, we use be going to. So, my sister is going to study is the correct answer. Question 12. While we're working on the project, our boss on a beach in Greece. Will sit, will have sat, will be sitting. Will be sitting. But why? The thing is, all 3 options are future. All of them are with will. But why will be sitting? Why future continuous? Because the first part is also present continuous while we are working. So the action is happening now. Now that we're working, where's the boss? On the beach in Greece. Future continuous because the action is in progress. Question 13. If the trend continues, the average income by 107% by 2027 will increase, will have increased, or will be increasing? Will have increased. This is called future perfect. We use future perfect when we want to say that something will happen by a deadline or by a fixed time in the future. By 2027, this will happen. That is when you use future perfect. The average income will have increased by 107% by 2027. Question 14. You can base your geography assignment on country. It doesn't matter which. Some, or any. Any. The question itself says it doesn't matter. So any. Anyone, anything, anywhere, anyhow. Any means it doesn't matter. Okay, let's go to question 15. There aren't places left on the course, so you'd better apply soon. Much, many, lots of. Many. Why? You cannot say much because much is used for uncountable nouns. Places is countable. But what about lots of? The thing is, both of them are synonymous, but we usually use many for negative sentences and lots of for positive sentences. Now, this sentence is negative because it says there aren't. We don't say there are lots of, we say there aren't many. But if it was positive, and if it was like there are places, many would be the second best option. The first best option would be lots of. So lots of and a lot of for positive sentences, many for negative sentences. Question 16. I don't know whether to accept the job offer. It's a difficult decision, the difficult decision, or difficult decision. A difficult decision. Decision is a noun. It's countable, so we can't say one decision, 2 decisions. And every noun in English that is countable requires an article. Articles are a or an as indefinite article or the as definite article. Here, we're talking about a decision, which means one decision. So there must be an article, and the correct answer is a difficult decision. Let's go to question 17. For those of you new to the company, this leaflet is full of A valuable information, the valuable information, or valuable information. Valuable information. This is similar to the previous question. Information is a noun, but it's not countable. That is why we do not use articles with uncountable nouns. So no e, no an, and no the. Let's go to question 18. The manager interviewed candidates in turn. Each of the, each, or every. Each, which means one by one, because the sentence also says in turn. So the correct answer is each. Why not each of the? Because if you say each of the candidates, you need a following noun phrase. For example, each of the candidates sitting in the room. You need a post modification. You need something that explains candidates. Each of the candidates, who? You need to explain more. That's why we simply say each, because there is no post modification. There is no extra information about candidates. Question 19. I know it's not much of a present, but I made it me, on myself, by myself. By myself, which means alone, without any help from anyone. By myself. On myself is a wrong collocation. And me, no. I made it by myself, which means alone. Question 20. You should visit Bath. It's city. A historical and interesting. A historical interesting. An interesting historical. An interesting historical city. But why? This has to do with the order of adjectives in English. In English, opinion adjectives are always first. What's an opinion adjective? Interesting, exciting, marvelous, fascinating, boring. These are opinion adjectives. And in this question, our opinion adjective is interesting. So interesting must be first. But if you're curious about the exact order of adjectives, let me tell you. Opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, purpose. In this example, interesting is opinion, historical is age. So interesting, historical city. Great job, guys. So far, you've covered 20 questions. Let's continue. Question 21. The government has released some data showing how schools are not providing an adequate education to our children. As you can see, the level of questions are getting higher and higher and higher. The options are shocking, shock, or shocked. Shocking, because we need an adjective. We have data and we want to describe data, and data needs to be either shocking or shocked. Now, data cannot be shocked. It's like a few numbers say, no. Data cannot be shocked. It can be shocking. We can be shocked by data. So the correct answer is shocking. Question 22. You really should go to southern Italy. The scenery is stunning and the people are very friendly. Very, fairly, or absolutely? Absolutely, because stunning is a strong adjective, and with strong adjectives, we do not use very. Another example is tired and exhausted. Tired is a normal adjective. We can say very tired. Exhausted is an extreme adjective. It's a very strong adjective. We cannot say very exhausted. We say absolutely exhausted. Let's go to question 23. This factory produces some of cameras in the world. Some of best, the best, or the most best. Very easy, right? We're talking about superlative adjectives. Some of the best cameras in the world. Very easy. It doesn't even need explanation. Question 24. People live in the countryside than 100 years ago. It's a comparison. Less, few, fewer. fewer. Less and fewer are both comparative adjectives. However, less is used for uncountable nouns, fewer is used for countable nouns. And because we're talking about people and you can count people, the correct answer is fewer. Question 25. The bookshop, the end of the road is excellent. At, on, in. At the end of the road. This is a fixed phrase in English. At the end of. At the end of. It's fixed. You must memorize it. It's always with at the end of. Let's continue. Question 26. That was a simple one. There were millions of people around the world. The football match live on television. Watched, watching, were watching. Watching. Very simple, right? Because the football match was live on TV. And we need a continuous verb. The first part is a participle clause. That participle clause is describing people. There were millions of people around the world. That's a participle clause. And that participle clause requires a verb in the continuous form. Watching. Because the show was live. The football match was live. Question 27. Scientists finally find a cure for the disease after years of research. Manage to, can, could. Managed to. But why? We need a past tense verb that's either managed to or could. If we're talking about the amount of effort put into something, we use managed to instead of could. And in this question, finally shows a lot of effort. They did a lot of things, so they finally managed to. Question 28. She got a terrible mark in the exam, so she very hard at all. Mustn't have worked, can't have worked, didn't work. Can't have worked. This is called a deduction. It means you see something now and then you start logically thinking about the cause. She failed the exam now. So she can't have worked very hard. Now, when you are 100% certain of this deduction, we use must. However, we don't use must in the negative form, so mustn't is not the correct option. Instead of must in the negative form, we use can't. That's why can't have worked is the correct answer. Question 29. What, in order to get a permit to work in your country, what do I need to do? What must I do? What ought I do? The correct answer is, do I need to do? Alternatively, if there was another option which should, it would be a great option. What should I do? What do I need to do? What do I have to do? But we cannot say what must I do or what ought I do. I mean, technically, what must I do is not wrong because it's a modal verb followed by subject followed by verb, but it's off. It doesn't sound right. What must I do? We don't use must in the question form like that. Instead, we use have to. What do I have to do? Or what do I need to do in this case? Question 30. When you write your essays, you copy ideas from books without referencing them properly. You mustn't, don't have to, or have to. It should be a negative obligation, and the only negative obligation here is mustn't. Don't have to is a suggestion. You don't have to do that, but if you want, you can. Here, we're looking for an obligation because you mustn't do this. You mustn't write anything from other books or from other people without referencing them. Great job, guys. So far, 30 questions. Let's continue with the next bunch of questions. Question 31. Doctors have us to cut down on salt in our diets if we want to reduce the risk of heart disease. Insisted, suggested, or advised. The only correct option based on the structure of this sentence is advise. This is how we use advise. Advise somebody to do something. And this sentence is exactly like this. Advised us to do something. They advised us to cut down on salt. Insisted is usually followed by the preposition on, and suggested is not used in this way. So the only good option we have is advised. Question 32. This newspaper report, more women smoke than men nowadays. Apparently, according to, or supposedly. According to. This is called source attribution. We have a source. We're speaking based on that source. According to this source, this is the news. This is what I want to tell you. According to. Question 33. My parents encouraged this course. Me to do, me doing, me do. Encouraged me to do. The structure is this. Encourage, object, infinitive. Encourage somebody to do something. My parents encouraged me to take this course or to do this course. Question 34. What will you do if you don't get a good IELTS score? You didn't get a good IELTS score. You won't get a good IELTS score. You don't get a good IELTS score. This is a first conditional sentence. How do I know? Because look at the question. What will you do? The main clause is will, future tense. The if clause should be present simple or in the present tense. And the only present tense we have here is don't get. Question 35. A recent government report has warned that we act immediately to reduce pollution. There will be serious consequences for the planet. Provided that, in case, unless. Unless. If you read the question correctly, we need to say if not. Pay attention again. A recent government report has warned that if we don't act immediately to reduce pollution, there will be serious consequences for the planet. If we don't, if not. When you have if not, it can be replaced with unless. Unless we act immediately, there will be serious consequences. Now let's go to question 36. If I didn't have to work tonight, I'd be able to relax now. I'm able to relax now. I'll be able to relax now. I'd be able to relax now. But why? It's a second conditional sentence. How do I know? Look at the question. If I didn't have to work tonight, simple past. If clause is simple past, the main clause should be subject plus would plus base form. The only subject plus would we have here is I would. I'd stands for I would. Question 37. I wish that man tapping his fingers on the table. It's really annoying me. Stopped, had stopped, would stop. Would stop. When we use wish to complain about other people's annoying behavior, it must be followed by would. Wish, would. I wish my brother would quit smoking. Or I wish that man would stop tapping his fingers. Let's go to next question. Question 38. I'm aiming a band 7 in IELTS. I'm aiming on, for, or to. Aim as a verb requires the preposition for. Aim for. I'm aiming for a score of 7 in IELTS. And question 39. Do you have any knowledge how our education system works? Any knowledge of, on, or for? Any knowledge of. The correct preposition of knowledge is have knowledge of something. And now question 40. The minister is responsible for education has just resigned. The minister which, the minister who, or the minister what? Obvious, because the minister is a person, so the minister who. And question 41. The University of St. Andrews is the oldest university in Scotland? Pay attention to the options. Which was founded in 1413, comma, which was founded in 1413, comma, or comma, that was founded in 1413, comma. Comma, which was founded in 1413, comma. But why? First of all, this is a non-defining relative clause. That means you can just remove it from the sentence and the sentence would still make sense. Let's try. The University of St. Andrews is the oldest university in Scotland. You see, the sentence makes sense even without the non-defining relative clause. When you have a non-defining relative clause, that means when you can just remove it from the sentence and the sentence would still make sense, you need to use two commas. And you need to use which, not that. Question 42. Many children these days do not have a healthy diet. It's possible that this is because less healthy foods are cheaper than healthy ones. What? That? It. The correct answer is it. But why? This is a new sentence. It must begin with a subject. What's the subject? Nothing. That's the fact. There is no subject. We need something to act as a subject. In English, that's called a dummy subject. And a good dummy subject to use is it. It is a dummy subject in English. It is possible that... Next question, 43. The charity is trying to find ways to save the world's endangered animal species. Now the options. The charity is trying to find ways to protect. To find ways to protect. Protect. Obvious, right? The correct answer is protect. Because there is an and in the sentence. Ways to save and. There's an and. And when there is an and, you do not need to repeat everything which was used before and. You simply need to remove them and only use the verb. And the verb is protect. That's the only thing you need to do. This is called parallel structures. Don't worry about the names. I'm just using the names so that if you want to go and read more about them, you can. Parallel structures. Question 44. In the past, we threw a lot of our kitchen waste away. But today, many items such as plastic bottles and newspapers are recycled, need recycling. Because we don't have a subject, which means we don't know who is recycling our waste. I mean, yeah, we know, but in the sentence, it's not mentioned. We need to use the passive voice. And the only passive voice we have is are recycled. To be plus past participle. Present passive. Question 45. I can't pick you up from the station on Wednesday because on that day. I'm fixing my car. I'm having my car fixed. I need my car fixed. I'm having my car fixed. Am I fixing it myself? No, I'm going to a garage. I mean, honestly, if you are fixing it yourself, you can say, I'm fixing my car. Option A would be correct. But normally, you don't fix your car yourself on a fixed date and time. You do it when you have time. In the sentence, from what we can understand, the guy cannot go to the station at a fixed time in the future because he is going to the garage to fix his car. Somebody will do it for him. And the correct structure is have something past participle. Have my car fixed. I'm having my car fixed. It means somebody's doing it for me. Question 46. These drugs are the best medicine available as a treatment at the moment. They are expensive, unfortunately. Although, because so. The correct answer is although. Why? Because in the first part of the sentence, it talks about how good the medicine is. The best one. In the second, it talks about a negative thing. It's expensive. Good and bad, we need to show contrast. And the only one to show contrast is although. Because and so do not show contrast. Question 47. I hope you're enjoying this lesson. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let's go. 3 more questions to go. Sorry, 4 more questions to go. My math is terrible. Learning a foreign language is important because it helps you to understand other cultures better. It can be a useful skill in many areas of work. The options are, however, despite this, in addition. In addition, because in the first part, we're talking about how good learning a language is. In the second part, we're also talking about the benefits of learning a language. So positive and positive. We are adding another positive to the list. In addition, question 48. I can't go to the conference as I've got to go to Sydney on business. Frankly, unfortunately, personally. Unfortunately, because in the sentence you see that there is an excuse. I cannot do one thing because I have to do another thing. And you need to express regret. You need to express how sad you are. So, unfortunately, I can't go there because I have to do this other thing. Question 49. I think it's useful to write an outline of your essay before you start to write the first draft. The options are, interestingly, definitely, personally. Personally, because this is the personal opinion. Somebody is sharing their opinion. When you are stating an opinion, you can say, personally, I think it's not the right thing to do. How do I know that the person is stating an opinion? Because the sentence begins with, I think. This is my opinion. I'm not sure, I just think. And the last question, guys. We're getting close to finding out your exact level of English. The of dark red spots is one of the first signs of the disease. Appearance, appearing, appear. The appearance, after the as a definite article, we use a noun. Remember, we use articles with nouns, so you need a noun. And the only noun here is appearance. The sentence begins with the. The is an article. And we use articles before nouns, so we need a noun. And the only noun here is appearance. Congratulations, guys! You have successfully finished this 50-question test by Cambridge University. And now it is time to figure out your exact level. Now, before I tell you what level you have, I want you to do one thing. First, give the video a thumbs up. Then, if you're new to my channel, click subscribe. Go ahead and do it now. Come on. Don't be lazy. Do it now. And third, in the comments section down below, let me and everyone else know how many correct answers you have. Pause the video, count the number of correct answers you have, type it in the comments section, and then play the video again. Done? Sure? Ready? All right. Here is your exact level of English. If you have between 0 to 10 correct answers, your level of English is A1. That means you have just started learning English and you need to build a strong foundation. If you have between 11 to 20 correct answers, your level is A2. That means you know basic structures and you can handle simple everyday English. If you have between 21 to 30 correct answers, your level is B1. It means your level is lower intermediate and you can manage everyday topics with some mistakes. If you have between 31 to 40 correct answers, your level is B2. It means you have an upper intermediate level of English and you can handle most tasks in an acceptable way. Now, if you have between 41 and 46 correct answers, your level is C1. That is advanced English. It's very good. You're advanced. You have a strong range and accuracy with only occasional slips. And finally, if you have more than 47 correct answers, 47, 48, 49, or 50, you're C2. You have a very advanced level of English, a native-like level. Very good control, excellent range, excellent accuracy. Bravo. And that's it, guys. Before we finish this lesson, do you want to have the list of all 50 questions with the correct answers? And with the explanation, a very brief explanation of each one in a PDF file for free, so that you can review this lesson again later and see if your level has changed? Then click on the link above this video, and on my website you can download it for free. Sorry guys, I'm getting really tired. The video was quite long. I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye.